for stream. Okay, I'm streaming there. Whoop. All right, I'm gonna run a little check here. I can't see what I'm doing here. My other ear. Can't hear. Let's see what I'm doing here. Here we go. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Let's see what's going on here. Check 1 2 3 4. Check 1 2. Check 1 2 3. Hear it? Here we go. It looks okay. All right. here we are. Okay, I guess we're set to go. And welcome everyone to the Saturday night live stream, or actually what I prefer to say, the Saturday night wine stream. And I have audio, so I'm going to turn this down a little bit so I can just barely hear myself. Anyway, welcome everyone. If you're just joining me for this, I hope that you're prepared to sit down and for the next hour, hour and a half or so, sit back with me, enjoy your favorite beverage. Let's just kick back, take our shoes off, and enjoy just a little time chatting. Chat with me in the stream, and we'll talk about wine. We'll talk about life in general, and just have a relaxing, entertaining time. Tonight we're going to we're going to test a wine that I picked up at the local wine store. And when I say wine store, I'm not talking about a generic wine store. I'm talking about the wine store, or it's called Wine Store. And we have a few in our area here in North Carolina, in Charlotte in particular. And right up the road from me, there's one that I frequent, and it's a great place to pick up some nice wines. And we're going to try out. I was originally going to have us try what's down here, a Corsado or an Evodia, which they're a couple of my favorites. But I know I've tried these before, and really what I'm trying to do is pick up wines that I've never tried, and that we can taste test and see, give it a little review and see what we like and we don't like about them. And while I was at the wine store this past Thursday, I met a young lady there who recommended and she wasn't an employee there. She was also a patron as I was. And she recommended a wine called Carmita. And this is a 2017 Carmita. And she said this was very, very good. So we're going to open it up. I'm going with a recommendation. Never tried it before. We're going to open it up, try it out, and see what it tastes like. So the Evodia, Gina's here. Hi, Gina. Good to see you. And I'm glad. I hope you can stay with us this evening and kick back and have some wine, and we'll just have a nice, relaxing evening. The Evodia, she wants to know, is the Evodia a Grenache? I usually don't do well with those. Actually, no. I think the Evodia is. Let me pull this up for just a moment. I've had it before. It is a Grenache. I'm sorry, it is. Boy, I'm really getting mixed up in my wines here, and I haven't had any yet. That's what's so weird. My memory's been a little bit flaky lately, anyway, and I've got a couple of stories about that. But the Evodia, this is from Spain. It's an Eric Salmon wine. Believe it or not, I have a good friend of mine. His name is Eric Salmon, but it's a different Eric Salmon. This is a Grenache that's, according to them, it's from 90-year-old vines. And according to their description, they say once you taste it, it will give you an idea of why Eric Salmon has celebrity stature in the wine business. And they say it's less than $10 a bottle, and it is. I picked mine up for $7.98 a bottle. And it's a surprisingly good wine for an $8 bottle of wine. It goes pretty good with grilled meats, burgers, things like that. It's a nice medium-bodied wine, and it's pretty easy to drink, as I've had a few. And Chi there, my lovely wife Chi, is in the chat with us as well. Hi, Chi. Gina says there's no such thing as a relaxing evening when you're selling a house. I hope that's going well for you, Gina. I know you were having an open house last week, and I hope everything goes well in that regard. Yeah, house selling. You know, we have some stories about that too. Chi and I could share some stories about house selling. Some of them are pretty interesting. Some of them didn't go so well for us, especially when we were selling one of our houses in Florida. But that's another story for another time. For right now, we have this Carmita to open up. And once again, if you don't have a bottle of wine, I suggest you kick back, open one, and as I said last week, if you're doing this, if you're watching this on a mobile device, make sure you're not mobile, like in a car or something. Don't be drinking and driving. I don't want to take responsibility for that. Just find a place where you can, maybe your home, where you can kick back and relax, hotel room, and open a bottle of wine or your favorite beverage, beer, if you prefer beer, a scotch and soda if you like that. Sit back, and we'll just have a good time. You're welcome, Gina. All right, this is a Carmita. This Carmita is another Spanish red wine, and this is 2017. I'm not sure exactly what the wine is. Let me see if I can pull up some information on it, because I've never tried this before. This is a new one for me. Let me see if I can find some information on this wine for just a moment, because I don't do show notes on this show. I do a little bit of prep, but I don't really do official show notes, because unlike a lot of my other videos and podcasts, things like that, I don't do show prep. I'm just winging it. We're just kicking back, relax. This is an off the cuff, totally off the cuff thing I'm doing here. Let me see if I can find something on this Carmita. And I came up with a lot of Carmitas, but they're pictures of people. So I guess that didn't work out so well, did it? Carmita, let's look at the Carmita wine. 2017 Carmita red blend. This actually comes from the wine store. In fact, let me pull this up. Pull this up on my monitor. Well, maybe not. What do we have here? This is an Alicante Boucher, but today they call it Garnacha Tintorera. They mix the sweet and they mix it with 30% Monastrell to make this a wickedly powerful red wine. I'm reading this right from the website for Carmita. This wine goes for about $10 a bottle. I think I paid a little bit more for that at the wine store. It's supposed to go good with burgers. I do recall that, and it's kind of a good wine for dinner parties, things like that. That's what I've been told. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see, where am I going here with this? Let's go ahead and open this before I get too talkative and off the subject. Let's open this bottle of Carmita. And I'm using this wonderful contraption, this metal corkscrew that she purchased for me at an estate sale, or something like that. It was a special going on, estate sale, and she bought this thing for $5. It's a pretty interesting contraption. I've only used it a couple of times. I used it for the first time on our last live stream. I'm going to try it again, and the way this works is you put it over the bottle like this. You grab it like this, and Let's see. And then it's supposed to come right out, which it does. How about that? That works pretty nice. Now to get the cork out, you're supposed to do, let me move this bottle out of the way so I don't have an accident. To get the cork out, you're supposed to grab the cork and do the reverse. It's kind of hard to do it the way I'm positioned here at the table. But that's how it works. It's a really neat little device. It's kind of fun. It's fun to play with. And apparently I can't put it in the dishwasher to clean it there. You have to hand wash it. So let me get back to this for just a moment. Anyway, that's let's see. She purchased it for $5. Can you believe that? I don't know what this cost originally. I haven't looked it up to check, but she bought it for $5 in the estate sale, and so far I've been pretty happy with it. So I'm going to take this bottle of Carmita, and I'm going to put it in my Cooper's Hawk wine glass, which I purchased a few weeks ago at the Cooper's Hawk Winery and Restaurant. Let me use my other hand. I'm right-handed, by the way. And we're going to pour this in. Let's see, we'll put just a little bit in so I can give it a good swirl. And we'll swirl it around a little bit. Let me check the aroma. Yeah, from the aroma, it's very berry, but it's it's very slightly oaky. Or maybe that's my fingers, I don't know. I won't tell you where my fingers have been. It's been slightly oaky. Let's see, let me give it a good swirl. And let's take a look at the rivulets on this thing. It's a tiny glass, so I love these glasses. This is real crystal, by the way, from Cooper's Hawk. Got a great deal on them a few weeks ago. And let's see, looking up the lights, I see fingerprints. Well, the fingerprints. There we go. Let me put it up to the blue so you can get a better view of the blue. There we go. Let's see if you can see any of those. It's kind of hard to tell. I need to get a different background so you can more easily see. Oh wait, you can catch a few of these right here. Look at that. Whoop. Wrong. There we go. So you see them that against the white. There we go. There's some of them. It's got a few legs. And yeah, it looks it's kind of a it's kind of a nice body to it. It's down. There's it looks like according to this, you can tell how much alcohol there is in it by doing that. I don't know that that's really true. I've heard it both ways. I can tell you, according to the bottle, it says 15% by volume in this 750 milliliter bottle. And of course, as we all know that just because it says 15% on the bottle doesn't mean it's actually 15% alcohol. It's usually a bit more than what's posted on the label, from what I've heard. And let's give this a nice legs. Thank you. Oh no! Oh, you're talking about the wine. Yeah, yeah. It does look kind of nice. It seems to have a bit of a smoky finish to it. Maybe that was just me again. You know, I can't really place the flavor on this one. It has, there's something very, very familiar about the flavor of this wine, and I can't really put my finger on it right off the bat. I need more. It does have a nice finish to it. Gina says it doesn't really matter on the flavor necessarily, but if I wanted 3-2 wine, I'd buy beer. Is that what it says? A 3? Okay. Oh, 3.2 wine, I'd buy beer. Well, I like it. It tastes nice. But see, I kind of like Spanish wines anyway. I like, there are a number of South American wines that are, not South American wines, I'm saying European wines, Spain's in Europe. There are also a number of South American wines that I like, and European wines that I like from Spain, France, Italy. Let's Gina says, for your next birthday, ask Chi to buy you, I can't really read that, Lunes de Vin? Is that what it says? My my other monitor here is like really squatty. I need to get a new monitor for this. I'm running on a low budget here on this studio, so I'm upgrading as I can. So the monitor is going to be one of the next things to go as soon as I fix the second camera. If you were in the wine stream with me last week, I want to apologize for that one because I went through that whole wine stream and it turned out to be a bit choppy. And the reason was because I had connected a second camera, and I don't want to get too technical here, but I connected a second camera to show the wine and being, having it poured, and so you could see the glass and everything in it. And what happened was, resource-wise, it was just too much for my computer, and it caused some issues. So I had to disconnect the second camera, which I don't like because I like working off a couple of cameras. So right now I'm working off one camera until I can, in fact, this is actually the same camera. It's just a little bit closer. I just cropped it a little bit, but it's actually the same camera. Excuse me. So unfortunately, that's pretty much what I'm working on right now. I'm working on trying to upgrade that. But for my next birthday, Chi can buy me a Lunes de Vin. Yes. Okay. Is it expensive? Is it very expensive? If it's yeah, oh, Taylor's in the chat. Taylor, good to see you. Great to see you. Well, virtually see you. Good to see you in the chat. Taylor, I work with Taylor, and we work together in the office, and she's pretty awesome. She does some graphics work. She does all the photography work for us and everything. She does an awesome job over there, and it's good to see Taylor. I'm glad you could join us in the chat. I hope you have something to drink. I hope you have a nice wine or something, and you can kick back and we'll talk, tell stories, and let's see. I'm going to have a little bit more of this first. Yeah, this is actually a pretty good wine. It does seem to have a little sediment there. Is it sediment in the glass? Yes, it is, I believe. A little bit? Or are those bubbles? Kind of hard to tell. Taylor says, just stopping by before bed. Good luck and drink up. I will do that, Taylor. Thanks. Stick around if you can for a little while. Stick around. Stick around and drink with me. It's still early. It's only it's not quite 11 o'clock, almost 11 o'clock. So it's still early. So feel free to step in. I understand. Taylor has a little one there that needs to be attended to as well. So, and I hope she's doing well also, Taylor. And here's to you and the little one. And here's to Gina. Ah, and I can't forget my lovely wife, Chi. Something tells me I'm going to go through this bottle fairly quickly if I keep this up. I'll just toast everyone who gets in the chat. In fact, let me do that. I'll toast everyone who enters the chat. Oh, I'm sorry, that's for Chi. So I hope your week went well. My week was fairly busy and worked all day. Didn't necessarily sleep all night. A lot of I don't always sleep well at night anyway. But you know what helps me is sometimes I will have a half a glass of wine, of a good wine, just before bedtime. Not always. Sometimes I'll drink water. And yes, I do drink water. I do. As a matter of fact, I have a bottle around here with me somewhere. Or I did. Really, I do drink water. But oftentimes, if I'm having trouble sleeping, I will sometimes put a half a glass of wine, and that will help me sleep a little bit. I don't like to do more than that, because if I do more than that, sometimes it'll actually keep me awake. So about half a glass of wine or so, or sometimes I'll have a nice cup of hot tea with some honey in it. I don't put sugar in my tea, but I'll have a nice hot cup of tea, and sometimes with the honey in it, sometimes that'll help relax me, put me to sleep. And it depends on the kind of tea. And yeah, either it can be either caffeinated or non-caffeinated. Caffeine doesn't really. I have a pretty high tolerance to caffeine because I drink a lot of it during the day. So, in fact, caffeine sometimes, believe it or not, I can drink a cup of coffee and take a nap right after that. If it's one cup of coffee, just because I usually drink about 3 or 4 cups at work, and on the weekends I'll be known to have 2 or 3 cups of coffee in the morning time, and then I'll take a nap. So yeah, coffee doesn't always have the same effect on me. I don't know. It's just maybe I'm just super tired, and the coffee doesn't really. Maybe it just takes more coffee for it to really get me going. But yeah, I've been known to drink a cup of coffee and take a nap. Usually on a Saturday or a Sunday, and hopefully I can get one tomorrow. Drink enough of this, and I'll probably need one. So, how did your week go? Mine, as I said, mine was pretty busy, and I did a lot of interesting things, got a lot done. A few interesting things happened to me this week. I hope you had a good one. One thing that we did today is we decided, it was pretty interesting, was not planned, is we took a little trip down to the car wash, local Walmart on the border there in South Carolina, and we had our cars washed. And it wasn't, I mean, that in itself was uneventful, but we took all of our cars. Tommy's driving now, so he has a car, and she has her car, and I had my car. So we all did a caravan. We did sort of put together sort of a caravan, and all drove our cars down there, and all had our cars washed. And I had mine vacuumed, and that was an interesting experience. Chi and Tommy don't know this, but my car got caught in the car wash as I was starting to go through, because they had signs up there telling you how to put your car in there, but and then they had one guy standing there in front of the cars with a sign flipping around, telling you what to do, giving you instructions because he couldn't roll down the window, obviously, and talk to them, or they were shooting water in your vehicle. And one thing that they didn't tell me was that I had to basically take off the brake and put it in neutral when I was supposed to. It was supposed to, I took it in the car wash, and I know that I'm supposed to put it in neutral and take off the brake. That's just standard operating procedure when you're going through one of those car washes. But this was sort of a combination automated and hand wash, or the first part of it, they're hand washing your car, and then they run you through the second part, which is the automated car wash. And I was a little confused as to what point I had to take off the brake and put on the neutral, or put it in neutral. And because they didn't really make that clear exactly when I was supposed to do it, so I was kind of running it through there and giving it a little gas until they finally said, "Hey, this is the part where you take it off the brake and put it in neutral." So I had a little bit of trouble with that, but I got through the car wash, and Danny's here. Hi, Danny. And who else do I have? Amelia? Hey, good to see you both. Good to see you both. I hope you're relaxing and kick back with me and listen to me ramble and have some wine, and join me in the chat. Say hi to me in the chat. Tell me how your week went. Tell me what's going on with you. And I had a lot of things I wanted to ramble on about in this wine stream tonight, but to be honest, I can't think of any of them at the moment. I think that the car wash thing was probably the most exciting thing that happened to me today. That and taking the dog for a walk with my son, which is always exciting. I always enjoy walks with Tommy and Cosmo. We enjoy our evening walks. Don't always get to do it, but I enjoy it when I can. And that was pretty much what I did on my Saturday. I tried to take a nap. In fact, I started to a couple of times, but then I got called away for different things, and it just never really happened. And then the dog wanted to play with me. I started to take a nap, and the dog wanted some attention, so I had to play with him for a while, and just never really got my nap. Hopefully I'll get one tomorrow, and I think I'm going to absolutely need one if I actually do this bottle of wine. You know, a lot of people join us on the chat, or join the wine stream here, to actually not so much to hear my stories, but to interact with me, but mostly to watch me drink a whole bottle of wine. And I understand that. And to be honest, I'm not crazy about drinking a whole bottle of wine. I don't want to really do that if I don't, I mean, if it's good wine, I'll just drink it, and then all of a sudden I'll realize it's all gone, and it's all gone. Have you done that? Have you ever just opened up a bottle of wine and said, I'm going to just drink this much, or I'm just going to drink it down here? You take a crayon or something, or I don't know. Or you just open it up and say, I'm going to have half of this bottle tonight, and then I'm going to have the other half tomorrow night with a burger or with a steak or something, and put it in the fridge. But you keep drinking it. You're doing something. You're just kind of not paying attention. You're drinking it. Before you know it, the bottle's gone. And then you realize, what the heck did I just do? And the answer is, you just drank a whole bottle of wine by yourself. And hi, Penny. It's good to see you. Hi, Penny. I hope you're joining us as well to have this bottle of Carmita. I'm trying this for the first time. Came from the wine store, and as I said before, it's really called Wine Store, and it's a really cool place. They do wine tastings on the weekends, and they also do a wine tasting on on Thursday nights they do a regular wine tasting where they'll open up bunch of bottles of wine, and you'll check them all out, and it's a lot of fun. It's a very interesting and lively event, and it's great to see you, Penny. And anyway, I was there this past Thursday night, and I got to talking with Matt. And Matt is one of the managers of the wine store, and invited him to join us. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it tonight. He said he had another event planned, but he was going to try to make it and check it out. So, Matt, if you're watching, or if you're watching later, welcome. Here's to you, and here's to the wine store, which is an excellent place. By the way, it's become my new favorite place to buy wine. It really has. It's a small place. It's kind of tucked away. It's sort of the one that I go to is kind of tucked in between an Omaha Steaks and another store there. But it's really not a large place, but it is kind of homey, and it's really nice. People there are very, very friendly, and they're very helpful. The people who run it seem to really know their wines, because they stock them with some really fine wines. I was talking about something else, wasn't I? I don't remember now. I'm not killing my brain cells. I'm just putting some of them to sleep. Penny says, that's a lot of wine in that glad or glass. Penny, how much wine have you had tonight? Well, maybe not enough. Maybe you need a little bit more. This is in my Cooper's Hawk wine glass, which I picked up a few weeks ago while I was at Podfest 2019 in Orlando. And I got these regularly. That I think they were selling them in the restaurant for $3.99 a glass, but because I bought a couple of bottles of their fine wine, they gave them to me for, well, they sold them to me for $3 a glass, which was still kind of cool. Penny says, fat thumbs. She has had no wine tonight. Penny, what is wrong with you? Penny's my sister, and it's part of our DNA to drink wine, isn't it? It's in our DNA. When you say, Gina, it's in our DNA to drink wine, and that's what I'm doing. We got this. Both my parents drank wine. You know, my mom was known to have a beer from time to time. As I recall, she would, actually she was known to have a beer more than time to time. I don't know if you're aware of this. Penny says, early morning, so heading to bed. Well, Penny, hopefully you can stay with us for a few minutes. I'd like to hear how your week went. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. My mom, she drank wine, but she also drank beer. Now, I don't recall. Now, my dad would have a beer or two every once in a while. He did. I would see him drink beer from time to time. But he was the big wine drinker in the family. And when I say big wine drinker, I mean he could drink everybody under the table. That there was no secret about that. But my mom, she really, she did like her beer. And I remember when Bush beer, was it Bush? I'm trying to remember. She drank, no, it was, yeah, she drank, I think, something like a Bush beer or something back in the day. But she had those in the refrigerator, and she was known to have one or two of those from time to time. So, and you would expect that you would expect it to be the reverse. You'd expect and I don't want to sound sexist here or anything, but, you know, a lot of guys would drink the beer, and a lot of the ladies would drink the wine. But in our household, it was reversed. My dad was the real wine drinker, and my mom was the beer drinker. So, Penny says, hope that's a good bottle. I'll watch tomorrow. Yes, it is a good bottle. I'm enjoying it. This is Carmita, a 2017 Carmita. And as I mentioned earlier, very beginning of the wine stream, that this was recommended to me when I went to the wine store. I was actually going to pick up a bottle of Evodia and a bottle of, what was the other one I was going to get? It was Corsata. And instead, I ran into a young lady who said, you should try the Carmita. She said that was her favorite wine, and she was buying a bottle while she was there. She said that was her favorite. She said, if you like the Evodia, you'll really like the Carmita. And I thought, well, hey, why not? I'm up for trying something new. That's what I do here on this wine stream, is I like to open up new bottles of wine that I haven't tried before, and I said I'll try it. And you know what? It's actually not a bad wine. Now, Gina, I know it's probably might not be your favorite wine, but I'll say, you know, I'd try it once. Yeah, I would say try it once and see what you think. It's not bad. I can't say that I'm a wine connoisseur to any degree. I'm not a sommelier, you know, as they say in French, a sommelier. That's what they call a wine connoisseur. But I like wine. I like wine. So, and I like good wine. I mean, I'm not going to drink just everything. There's some wines that I won't drink because there's some wines that I have had that are just, to be nice about it, they're just nasty. You know what I mean? They're just nasty. And I'm being nice about it. And there's some other wines that, $3, $4 bottle of wine. If I don't have any money, I will, and I have to have a bottle of wine. There are a couple that I will drink. There are some that I won't touch. But generally, I think on average, between $6 and $10 a bottle is about where I like to be with wines. I'll go with a $20 bottle of wine from time to time, but it's really something that for guests, I will save my $20, $30 bottles of wine for guests on a special occasion. Because let's face it, wines as a general rule are overpriced. A lot of them are, especially for what they deliver, for what some of them deliver. It's a dirty secret, but it's not really a secret that for people that really know wine, know how to buy wine, that your sweet spot for decent wine is in the $7 to $12 range, or $15. Now, I know I'm saying this I know in California, it might be more expensive, it might be cheaper, I don't know. I know in some parts of the country, it's going to be more expensive. For where I am in North Carolina, and previously in Florida, $7 to $12 a bottle is going to be a decent, that's where that's how much you'd want to spend for wine, just to have a bottle of wine to drink, by yourself or with family or for table wine or something like that. If you're having guests over, maybe something about $18, $20 bottle of wine, just to say, hey, I spent $20 for this bottle of wine. But to be honest, the prices for wine all over the map, you really don't necessarily get what you pay for. It's sort of like buying a watermelon in a way. You go to the supermarket and there's a big, you ever go to Sam's Club and there's a huge crate there or a huge pallet there of watermelons, and they're advertising watermelons for $3.99 a piece or $4.99 or whatever, $5.99. And you'll see two or three of these. One's $3.99, one's $5.99. You'll think, well, I'll get the $5.99 watermelon because it's going to be better. Well, not necessarily, because you really don't know what you're going to get out of a watermelon until you actually cut it open. You know, the whole thumping the watermelon thing, I've done that, and to be honest, I still don't get the whole thumping the watermelon thing. It doesn't really help me much, because I've thumped watermelons thinking I got a good melon. I bring it home and cut it open, and it's overripe, or it's not ripe enough or something. And she can tell you that. She can attest to that, where she's done her best to go in, and she's pretty good at picking out this sort of thing. I mean, she knows her melons. She knows her stuff. That didn't come out right, did it? She knows her stuff. And yeah, I need more wine. That way I have an excuse in the morning. She comes up, slaps me later. What'd you say on that wine stream about me? Anyway, you know, she can pick out a good melon. And for the most part, she knows how to pick them. She's pretty good at it. I was never that good at it, and I could thump them. And I've learned, or I was told, how to listen to a watermelon when you thump it. And then I get it home and I cut it open, and I'm like, oh well, I kind of screwed that one up, didn't I? Because it wasn't at all what I thought it was going to be. Well, melons are kind of really that sort of thing. It's kind of the luck of the draw, really. And just because a watermelon is priced at $5.99 over here and $3.99 in the other bin doesn't mean that you're going to get a better watermelon at $5.99 than you're going to get at $3.99. It's just, once again, it's the luck of the draw. Sometimes you're going to get a good one, sometimes you're going to get a bad one. Well, the same thing to a certain degree. Now, I'm not saying this is every case, but to a certain degree, the same thing is true with wine. Because you're going to get, you can get a bottle of wine, you can pay $30 for a bottle of wine, and you get it open, and it's just awful. Or maybe it's corked. You get a bottle of wine that's corked. It could be a $10, it could be a $5 bottle, it could be $30, it could be a $100 bottle of wine. It's just corked. It's corked. That's if it's a $100 bottle of wine and you get it home and it's not that good, well, that's $100 you'll never see again. That's why I try to keep it to around, well, if I'm going to buy a bottle of wine, and I try to keep it, if I buy a wine that I know that I'm going to be drinking pretty much myself on my own, and which I pretty much do at home, I buy from labels that I've tried and I've trust, and I know that chances are I'm going to get a pretty decent bottle out of it, whether it's a $6 bottle of wine or a $12 bottle of wine or a $20 bottle of wine. I try to keep it around about, if I'm just going to be drinking by myself, I just want a wine with dinner, I'm going to keep it around $7 to $8 a bottle. I mean, that's just me. Sometimes I'll go a little bit lower than that, but I'll buy the wines that I trust. If I'm buying for a party or something like that, I'll spend a little bit more on the wine. But once again, I want to have tried the wine first and know that it's something that, okay, that's a $20 bottle of wine. And having said that, what is a $20 bottle of wine? What is a $30 bottle of wine? What do you expect from a wine that's $30, $40, $50 a bottle? And I think sometimes it depends on individual taste. Sometimes it depends on what your budget is. Sometimes it depends on what you're used to spending on wine. And there are people that are wine snobs. I don't want to say sommeliers. I'll say in this case, people that think, okay, you know what? I don't want to buy a bottle of wine that's less than $20 a bottle or $30 a bottle, because that to me is a good bottle of wine. And that really is, to me personally, I wouldn't recommend buying wine that way. because, as I said before, it's like the watermelon thumping. You know, you never really know what you're going to get out of it until you get it home and you open it up, and then it's too late. What rather than buying by price, I would buy by what you know and like. And if you and recommendations, you know, if someone recommends, that's why something like this can be useful. Something like this wine stream can be useful. If you're listening to the wine stream and I try this bottle of wine and I tell you, hey, it's a pretty decent bottle of wine, well, yeah, go two ways. One, everyone's tastes are a little bit different, so what I like in a wine may not necessarily be what you like in a wine. However, if you check them out online, if I say this is a pretty good bottle of wine and I recommend it, and if you check out ratings and the ratings are pretty decent on a bottle of wine, then, you know, I would say that that's probably worth trying the wine and see if you like it. You know, if you have, like in this case, this is you know, a $10 bottle of wine. If you really want to try it, spring for the $10 and try it. And if you like it, I mean, if you don't like it, you know, move on. But if you like it, then you know you have a $10 bottle of wine that you can go back to time and time again, and you can be confident about. Now, once again, having said that, just because this Carmita, this 2017 Carmita bottle of wine, is pretty decent doesn't mean that maybe a 2016 was any better or any worse, or that maybe a 2018 is any better or any worse. But if you tried it and it tastes pretty good, it's a little more of an incentive to buy and say, hey, you know, let me try a 2018 or a 2016 or whatever's out there, and say, you know what, I know this label. It's basically a decent wine. I'll stick with this for a while. It's a little bit easier to pick your wines and go with a wine that way than it is to go out and say, hey, look, there's a $30 bottle of wine. I'm going to buy that $30 bottle of wine because it's $30 a bottle and it has to be good. And once again, as I just stated, that's not necessarily the case. You can't, you know, and if somebody else says, hey, you know what, you have to buy this. This is a good bottle of wine because it's $30. Well, no, you don't. What you want to do is you want to buy a wine. First of all, you want to buy a wine that fits your budget. I mean, if you can't buy a $30 bottle of wine, and I'm not a person who can go out and plunk down $30 for a bottle of wine every day. It's just not, I can't do it. And it's not me anyway. I'm the kind of person that I look for bargains. So I like good wine, but I would only buy a $30 bottle of wine or a $40 bottle of wine if there was a real compelling reason to do that. Like, for instance, if there was a great party, or my boss was coming over and I wanted to really impress him, and a $40 or $50 bottle of wine, I could say, hey, this is a $50 bottle of wine, and then we could cork it and find out, or uncork it and find out that it's corked together. Then I can say, well, I paid $50 for it, and But the thing is, for the most part, you don't ever want to buy wine based on the price. You really don't. It's not the best gauge of what is considered a good wine. I have had $50 wines. I've had $100 wines. I've had a $110 bottle of wine before that was really, really, really good. And then I was later sorry that I opened that bottle, because I was thinking, well, you know what, I think I just lost an investment. But I have also opened up very expensive wines before that I drank and I thought, well, whoa, this is vinegar, or whoa, this is not what I expected. And then I realized, that's money down the drain, pretty much, literally, because yeah, I have opened bottles of wine before that I would try it and I didn't like it at all, and I would pour it down the drain because I could not drink it. That's happened before, and it's upset me because sometimes it hasn't because it didn't really. Sometimes it didn't come out of my own pocket, but sometimes it did, and it upset me. So, and I'd learn a lesson from. The lesson is, don't buy a bottle of wine based on price. Buy a bottle of wine based on recommendation. That's a good way to go. But once again, as I said before, everyone's taste is different. So what I like, I like this bottle of wine. I like this Carmita. It's actually pretty good. But Gina might not like it. Penny might not like it. I don't know. Taylor might not like it. And if they don't like it, well, it's my recommendation, but that's a personal taste. But I think it's a pretty good bottle of wine. I actually recommend this. I would actually recommend this. And actually, right now, I need to drink more of it. Yes, I recommend this. And I recommend that I recommend that I have some more. And if it's, and this is only about $10 a bottle, that's pretty decent. Less than $10 a bottle, I guess. The Evodia wine, which actually, let me show you a couple. I've got some pictures. Yes, I do take pictures of wine. Some people take pictures of their dogs. Some people take pictures of their kids. And I do that too. But I also take pictures of wine. Let me show you some of the wines that I've... not that one. Let's see. Oh, that's a good one. This is one that I tasted at the wine store a couple of weeks ago. Let me pull that up here. There we go. This one is a 2017 Pinot Noir, and as I said before in the past, I'm not always a big fan of Pinots, but there are some that I like. There's some that I have liked, and this one, an SLH, a Santa Lucia Highlands. It's kind of hard for me to see that there. Okay. It's a 2017 Pinot Noir. I taste tested this at the wine store a couple weeks back, and it was actually pretty decent. It was, as I recall, it was a fairly good wine. I did not buy one at the time. I went in there for something else, and I have a limited wine budget, so I already know usually what I'm going in there to buy when I go in there. I go in there with specific items in mind. Although from time to time I've gone in there and made a purchase that put me over budget because it surprised me, and I said I have to have this bottle of wine. That I have done that before. And let's see what else do I have here. That's not. Where's the other one? This was another one that I tried that they had at the store as well, called Caravan. And this, I believe, was a Middle Eastern wine. I believe, if I recall. Trying to remember where that was from, but it was actually a pretty good wine. I was actually surprised. I really didn't expect much out of it, but I did try that. It actually turned out to be pretty good. Let's see what else we got here. Artisan Enterprises. Okay, this is one, I don't remember what, 2016. I don't remember what this was. I think it was pretty high on alcohol. I don't remember what it was right offhand. Let's see, what's the other one I have here? Let's see. Okay, that's the Caravan wine. That's back to the Caravan wine. Let me see what else I have here. Oh, this is the Avodia. The Avodia wine, this is the one that I originally was going to purchase and try on the live stream tonight. And I have had this one a few times. I bought another bottle of it. I've been drinking it, actually. Not tonight, but I have been drinking it on and off. This is one of the wines that I've had the last few nights to help put me to sleep. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes I'll have half a glass of wine or so to just kind of relax me and put me to sleep at night. And this is the wine that I've been doing the last couple of nights. It's a nice little wine. I mentioned this earlier. It's a Spanish wine, and it's a Grenache. I like this wine, and it's only $7-8 a bottle. Actually, it's actually a pretty good buy for a wine. What else do I have here? Let's see here. There we go. This is one that I tried. This Thursday night, this past Thursday night. It was a Napa Valley Quilt. It was a cab, and I love cabs because I like a lot of the berry flavors and stuff, and I really enjoy the cabs, and Merlots and things like that. The really dry wines. I love Cabernets and Merlots are some of my favorite wines. And I tried this one, and I almost purchased one. I think this was one that was going for about $30 a bottle. And I was surprised, and I think they were offering a deal on those. If you buy a couple, you get an extra bottle or something like that. But it was a very good wine. I was really impressed with it. I really enjoyed it. But I didn't actually purchase one because it kind of put me over budget, because I was actually going in there for something else. Anyway, those were some of the wines that I've tasted recently. You know what? There's another one too. Tia had her birthday in February 13th. Tia had her 21st birthday. And so she was 21, so she could legally try a bottle of wine. So I opened one. I opened a red and I opened a white. And she tried a little bit. She had a little taste of each. She decided she didn't really like wine. But I thought, well, maybe a dessert wine, because she does like a few sweet things. Maybe a dessert wine's more her taste. Well, one of our neighbors brought over as a gift it was an Amara's wine. It was let me see, let me pull this up here. She pulled up it's right here. There we go. She pulled up this Amara's Irish Country Cream, which is sort of like a Bailey's. And she told Tia, well, this is a gift for you. And it came in a nice gift box. It was really sweet of her to do that. Really, she's a sweet lady. She's really nice. She brought over this gift box that had this bottle of Amara's Irish Country Cream with 2 glasses. There were like two goblets in there. And Tia didn't, she's been, I thought, well, I like a good Irish cream kind of wine, a drink every once in a while. And I was really itching to try this, but Tia she was hesitant to open it up. So tonight she said, it was last night. She said, see, I tell you, my brain cells are going to sleep. She said, well, yeah, you can open it up and try it out, and maybe I'll have some later. So I went ahead and opened the bottle and tried it, and it was kind of a Bailey's. It's definitely a wine. It's a red wine that has a cream in it, and I would have to say that I tried this wine, or I tried this O'Mara's. It comes from Ireland, and I have to say that I've had better. It wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad, but it was a little bit too sweet for me. But I have had better, and I like Bailey's, and this did not really taste like Bailey's. It was. I would say that it was okay, but I couldn't drink very much of it without getting a bit of a headache. It really wasn't for me. Now Tia might like it. In fact, her neighbor called it adult chocolate milk. There's no chocolate in it, so I don't know. It's really more cream, but it was okay. But it's not something that I would drink every day, to be honest. And it's probably best that I tried it before she did, because she's very particular. She's very particular about this sort of thing. And if she didn't like it, she probably would have never tried it again. So anyway, it is what it is. Let's see. There was one other thing. There was one other wine here. Maybe not. I think I showed you all these wines. Yes, I did. Okay, so that's my wine photo album for this week, and I'll do some more photo albums. Or I'll do another photo album for next week. You know, I have not touched any of the cheese or the other items that I have here for drinking with the wine, and I haven't had any wine for a while. The crackers, these are club crackers, by the way. I like club crackers. They're good with butter. I know. She calls me weird. People say I'm weird for putting butter on crackers, but does anybody else try butter on crackers? I mean, come on. I can't be the only person out there that puts butter on a cracker. Don't knock it till you've tried it. I have some cheddar here, which has been sitting out for a while because I haven't been eating it. And I have some pepperoni. But this isn't just any pepperoni. This is turkey pepperoni. And you know what? I like turkey pepperoni. Maybe it's an acquired taste. Some people don't like it. It's really good on pizza. We actually make our pizzas with turkey pepperoni. In fact, we'll go down to the local Harris Teeter, which is a supermarket down here in our area, and we will. Monday nights they have their pizza night for $7.95. I think they'll do a whole, was it 16-inch pizza or 12-inch? It's a bit large pizza for $7.95, and it'll feed the family, family four, like us. And we will ask them, of course, she knows everybody down there, the local Harris Teeter. They're all her friends. And so she'll go in there and she'll say, well, can you put turkey pepperoni on it? And so they'll do it. They'll put turkey pepperoni on the entire pizza, and it's actually very good. It's actually very good. Don't knock it till you've tried it. I know. There's some people that don't like turkey anything. I have talked to people that say, turkey sausage, can't stand it. Turkey bacon, that's not bacon. You can't make bacon with turkey. The people have told me that. Yes, you can. It's smoked turkey, and I love smoked turkey. Smoked turkey is just it's awesome. If you've never had smoked turkey, it is awesome. We do that on Thanksgiving and at certain holidays we'll go down to the Honey Baked Ham and we'll order a smoked turkey, a whole smoked turkey. And oh, it's awesome. I love smoked turkey. It's great. But people will say, well, you know, you can't make bacon out of turkey. Well, some places can't. There are some brands that make smoked turkey bacon that are not very good, but there are some other brands, and we found those, and those are the ones that she buys and we eat that we really do like. And you know what? Turkey bacon is better for you than pork bacon. It's a lot leaner than beef bacon. And you know what? If you've never had beef bacon, that is awesome. I mean, you're talking about rich. That is so rich. Beef bacon is rich. Now, it's a little bit harder to come by. It's tough to find it, and it's very expensive. And as a matter of fact, we had some beef bacon for our dinner this evening. Sometimes we'll have breakfast for dinner. You ever have breakfast for dinner? Sometimes it's a lot of fun. Instead of just having dinner, you have breakfast for dinner. It's a nice break. I love doing that. Sometimes we just love doing that. Sometimes just because, you know, we could cook the steak over here, we could cook the burgers or whatever, but no, let's have breakfast for dinner. That's a lot of fun. It's really good. It's easy to make, and it's quick dinner. But sometimes it's just fun to have breakfast for dinner. We do that. We've gone down to the like IHOP or Waffle House, and we'll just order for dinner. We'll just order breakfast for dinner. It's a lot of fun. If you've never tried it, breakfast for dinner, you can't really. I love it. It's good. Breakfast for dinner. Anyway, where was it going with that? Oh, yes. Well, we were having breakfast for dinner this evening, and we cooked some beef bacon. Very rich stuff. It's great. There's a taste to it that you just I don't know. I just love it, and the dog likes it too. He doesn't get much of it because it's very expensive, but we do give him a little bit here and there, and he loves it. He loves turkey bacon too. Turkey bacon's good stuff, and turkey bacon is a lot leaner. It's actually better for you than pork bacon. You know, pork is really not from a health standpoint. Pork really isn't good for you. It's not good for your body. I mean, you think about a pig that's been eating whatever they're eating, they'll feed a pig anything, and you know, you are what you eat. The pig becomes what he eats. Well, you're eating the pig, and you become whatever the pig's ingested. That's what you're eating. I really don't see how some people can eat stuff like that, but some people love pork bacon. You know. I mean, and some people have problems down the road from eating so much pork bacon throughout their lives, and I can't say that I would. I can't say that I would live to be 100 years old from eating turkey bacon. It's all processed meat. It's all processed meat, so who knows how long how that's affecting us all. But I would have to say that if I was going to choose between eating pork bacon and turkey bacon, maybe I'll live 15 minutes longer from eating a strip of turkey bacon than eating a strip of pork bacon. And that's all I've got to say about it. And, you know, if I can live 15 minutes longer to have another piece of bacon, then I'll go for it. I'll go for turkey bacon. Anyway, I'm not drinking enough. Anybody disagree with me? We can discuss it. Join us in the chat, and we'll discuss it. If you don't like, if you say I'm dead wrong about pork bacon, about pork products, if you say I'm all wet, hey, just join me in the chat. We'll talk about it. It's We don't talk about politics here. There are two things that we don't talk about. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about religion. I have my religious views. I have my political views. I don't talk about them to most people, because I've seen what has happened in this country in the last decade, particularly the last 5 or 6 years with politics, where it has turned friends into enemies. I've watched people unfriend each other on Facebook. I've watched people. I watched people turn on each other, and I've watched the country to become so divided for political reasons. And to me, I think that the less we talk about politics and the more that we talk about things that bring us all together, like wine, the better off we are. So I don't discuss my political views at all on Facebook or anywhere else. I think it's inappropriate, just from a personal level. It's just inappropriate. I love all of my friends. The people that friend me on Facebook, I know most all of them, and I love them. A lot of them are people that I've worked with in the past, and people that I work with now, people that I consider my family, friends that go back to childhood, family. These are all people I treasure, and I don't want to risk alienating anyone or being at odds with anyone for my personal, whatever it is, personal political views. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And I think anything that can bring people together, like for instance the wine stream and this wine, anything that can bring people together and talk about things, just life in general, just have some fun, relax, kick back, and it's okay to realize that it's okay to have different points of view, like for instance with the pork. It's okay to have a different point of view. If you don't agree with me with the pork, that's okay. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not going to hate anybody because they eat pork bacon and I don't. I'm not going to hate anybody because they like red cars and I like green cars. That's silly stuff. What's important is that I think that we sit down and we get together and we have a discussion and we just have a good time. That's what it's all about, as friends. And I would prefer that there would be no politics at all on among my Facebook friends or among my friends on YouTube or my friends on LinkedIn or anywhere, and among my friends, in my day-to-day life. I would prefer that be a more private thing, and that's your business. If you believe in one thing or not another, that's your business. That's your thing. I believe that people should love one another, and people should be respectful of one another, no matter what their views are on politics, on religion, or whatever it is. You can agree to disagree, but one thing that I think we can all agree on is that this wine is pretty darn good, and I'm going to have some more of it. Well, I don't know if you agree that it's good or not, because your taste may differ. But you know what? If you try a bottle of this and you don't like it, let me know. Let me know, and I'll say, hey, you know what? That's well noted. That's your personal taste. But it's not worth knocking someone else over what they like that you don't like, or what you like that they don't like. It's not worth it, and that's not what life is about anyway. It's about you know, respecting one another, respecting each other's opinions, and just being good to each other. As Bill and Ted would have said, be excellent to each other. And I think that's a good philosophy. Be excellent to each other. And here's to you. Yeah, this wine isn't bad. Let me see how much is left in the bottle. I can't tell from the lights, from the studio lights. And by the way, I've actually cut down on the studio lights a little bit. I have a couple here on the side, and I use them sometimes for green screen. I'm going to change all of that. I'm kind of in the middle of upgrading some of this, or updating or changing some things around to make it a little bit easier to deal with. I'm not... This is my home studio. We have a very similar setup in my studio at work, in the office. Although the area in the office, in our office studio, is much larger, and there's more room to do some of the things that we try to do here, to do those there. So if you've ever seen some of my videos from my day job, from work, you've seen some of those videos. And actually, a few of those have actually been produced here, to be honest. Some of them have been produced here. But for the most part, that studio is larger. There's more room to work with, so I can space the lights out better, and I have more room to do that. Here, it's a lot tighter in this room. It's a little bit smaller. You know, this is my home studio, and it's a pretty nice room for what we can do with it, but it's not a commercial environment, so I don't necessarily have a lot of room to do some of the things I want to do. So I'm changing some things with the lighting. I'm going to add a couple more smaller lights and get rid of some of these larger lights. Especially when we're doing green screen work, because we do throw a green screen up here from time to time. Tommy, if you've seen the videos that Tommy and I do, we do some green screen stuff, and we will use these sometimes to light them. You can't see them offhand, but I think I was going to actually show you a picture of our studio when it's. I don't know if I didn't have that prepared really. Let me see if I can show this real quick. I've got, let's see. There we go. And see if I can pull up a couple of pictures of the studio here. Let's see if I can get a picture of the studio up. All right, this is one without. Okay, whoops. Let's go back here for a second. Let me resize that photo. Okay. Well, that didn't work out too well. Anyway, so let me see if I can get a picture of this studio without all right, that's just one small glitch. Let's try that again. All right, there we go. Sorry, I'm doing this on the fly. Pardon me, folks. I'm doing this on the fly. It was not something that I had planned. Of course, I never... All right, let me see if I get an idea. Here you go. This is kind of what... This is kind of the area I had to work with, or had to work with when we got the green screen up. And... let's see, pull up another photo of this as well. Let me see. Okay. I have, okay, here's another image. Maybe this image might give you a better idea of what we're doing right now. This is some of these are older. Some of these are older images. I've redone a lot of the studio since then, and this is kind of a low-angle shot with a teleprompter in there. But it's not a large area. Where I am right now, it's not a really large area. I think it's about a 10 by 14 studio is about what we have. So that's what we kind of work with, and we just do the best we can with what we have. But that's an old picture. That was when we were doing, Tommy and I were doing some of our original Free Stuff Show videos, and that was a backdrop that we had for that, and it was a heavy duty backdrop. And believe it or not, that backdrop, the base of the backdrop is now serving as our riser. It now serves as the riser for our current set. And the current set that we have is a little bit, let me see if we can pull up there we go. Our current set is a little more like this. And we have a couple of soft boxes on either side here that I do not have on right now. Maybe too much information for what a lot of you want to know, but that's kind of what we've got here. This is our setup. And we're quite proud of our little studio. Tommy and I are. In fact, we have a Studio A and a Studio B, and we have a sound booth. There's a room off to the side. There's a small closet off the side. It's a renovated closet that is actually our audio booth. That's where we do a lot of voiceover stuff, and where we'll actually do our Free Stuff Show podcast, and we'll do voiceovers from other stuff. Sometimes I do voiceovers from work from there. And then Tommy has turned his whole room. He's sound treated his whole bedroom, and he's turned his whole bedroom into a studio, his streaming studio. So it's basically there's Studio A, and we have Tommy's studio, Studio B, and he does all of his casts, but a lot of the time he'll do it somewhere else. But sometimes he'll do it in his studio, I should say. But that's kind of what we have set up. And yeah, we've invested a bit into our what we've done, and we're continuing to invest more into it. In any case, I think I'm just about done with this bottle of wine. Almost. Let's see. I'm not going to drink this whole bottle, am I? No, I'm not. See, look, I filled this up, and it is not. I haven't emptied the bottle. I'm not going to finish this bottle of wine tonight, and I promised Tommy that I wouldn't. I actually, Tommy said, you're gonna get it. How did he put it? He says you're gonna get. He says you're gonna get hammered tonight. And I said no, I'm not gonna get hammered tonight. I'm not gonna drink this whole bottle, and I'm not. Because as I said in the last wine stream, I do believe in drinking responsibly. We've had. I have been. I've had people that I've loved, people that I've cared about, who have lost their lives due to drunk driving. I've had people that I've cared about that that really did abuse this. And I believe in drinking a good wine. I love wine, but I also believe in being responsible about it. So. No, and I'm not going to finish this either, even though I filled it up to the brim. Okay, I'll have a little more. Here you go. I think that's it for tonight for me, for the wine. But I hope everybody had a great time. I had a good time. I always have a good time doing these live streams. Hey, tell me what you think. I don't have an official email set up for this, but if you want to contact me, you can reach me at rick@savoyamedia.com. That's Rick at Savoya Media. That's SAVOIAMEDIA.com. See, I haven't had too much to drink. I could actually spell that without mixing my words up. All right. So I'm glad you joined me tonight. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. And we're going to do this again next week. We'll do it again next week. Join me again. I'm not really sure if 10:30 or 10 o'clock is the best time to do this. For the West Coast, probably earlier is a little bit better, like 10. It looks like a lot of people went to bed starting at 10:30, and it's 12:05, so I'm still wide awake. And I'll probably be wide awake for a little bit longer because it's just the kind of guy I am. I'm still wound up from this. So I don't know if 10 or 10:30 is better. Let me know. Let me know. And join me again next week. Next week, I think, unless I think what I'm going to do is, unless there is an objection to this, or unless I find something better, I'm going to have a little pasta and open this Poggio Scaletti. This is a Chianti. And I like a good Chianti. So I think maybe next week, and yeah, this is my wine budget back here. I have a bunch of wines here that I have said, these are the wines that I'm going to open on the wine stream. So I've opened up a few bottles already. I have a few more that have yet to open, and we'll try the Chianti next week, unless I go to the wine store and somebody says, "Hey, you should try this instead." And if I do that, then maybe I'll switch out. But until then, I think we're on track to do the Chianti. Anyway, I hope everyone had a great time. I know I did. I always have a great time talking to you all. It was great seeing everybody in the chat. Let's see, Gina and Chi, my beautiful wife Chi, and Taylor and Danny and Nelia and Penny and everybody else that joined us in the chat. Thanks a lot. Here's to you all. And that is my last. No, it's not. Okay, that was my last sip. And we'll say goodnight to the Saturday Night Wine Stream. Until next week. I don't have a good closing for this. I really don't. But I'll come up with one at some point. But everyone have a great evening. Have a great week. And I'll see y'all next Saturday night on the Saturday Night Wine Stream, where we can all get together and drink with Rick. Good night.